Today I'm celebrating Brian Eno, who I'm sure must have been aware that David Byrne, a musical associate of his, was born just the day before him. I'm sure they must have sussed that out quite early on. And it's funny because they are both very eccentric characters that have also got a great stillness about them. When I see pictures of Brian Eno as a younger man, whilst he still had hair compared to now, it's difficult sometimes to even see them as the same person. I find it a little bit the same with David Byrne. There's a very strong contrast between how they appeared at one age and much later in life, I suppose, as all, but especially with the two of them. They were so quirky, and now they seem so dull and old. No, I'm joking, but they've obviously matured, and the maturity though was in them from the earliest age. What So David Byrne's music obviously had this incredible funk to it, and Brian Eno also produced albums like My Life in the Bush of Ghosts that had this incredible funk to them too. But the music that I came to really love, and the reason that I'm choosing to celebrate Brian Eno today, was ambient music, the music that he was pretty much single-handedly responsible for bringing to the world. He produced 4 albums, Ambient 1, 2, 3 and 4, that kind of really set the ball rolling. And he had this concept that you could create music that really reflected the sounds of nature, and even conducted experiments where he tried to notate the sounds of nature, where he recorded time in silence and then tried to find corresponding rhythmic patterns to then be able to use synthesizers to evoke similar tones and feelings. And it's interesting because my older brother had a keyboard when I was younger, a DX7, which I remember looking at and finding completely unfathomable. I never got beyond the factory presets. And there's a story that that Brian Eno, I believe, had an accident where he broke, if not both, one of his legs, and had to spend an extended period of time in hospital. And it was during that time that he wrestled with the manual and finally got his head around frequency modulation, which is a different kind of synthesizer that came around with the advent of digital synthesizers like the Yamaha DX7. So he mastered this instrument and was able to create these incredible tones that we will recognise as we listen to the work of Brian Eno's ambience. He then got commissioned to produce many people's albums like Remain in Light with David Byrne. You can also hear his voice singing on there in the choruses. But so many other people besides, even the likes of U2. Not we should blame him for that. And his sense of tonal balance, of being able to find enormous stillness even within very chaotic music, I just think is unparalleled. The album that he produced to evoke, so there was a film that was once made of the Apollo space missions where the man who was tasked with the job of going through all of the material from all of the cameras, all of the different angles that came back from the Apollo space missions, his sense was that there was this incredible stillness in the footage that was never captured by the news media and its fast cut kind of approach to being able to transmit that material. And so an idea was conceived of creating a feature-length film of the Apollo space missions, but using this footage in a way that was completely different, capturing that silence, capturing the astronauts' voices. And the album that Brian Eno created to go with that film is just utterly beautiful. I'm sure everyone is going to recognise some of the songs off there. I think one of them is called An Ending, which is just bewitching, so beautiful, so much amazing music on that album. I believe that John Peel chose to play one of those songs on the main stage at Glastonbury one year. And you know, his collaborations, there's so many, I'll never be able to remember them. There's all the stuff that he did with his brother Roger Eno, which is utterly bewitching. He's a legend. What can we say? I'm kind of hoping that he never hears this, because he probably has already heard far too much celebrating his genius. And so if you do know Brian Eno, make sure you don't let him watch this, because it'll just go to his head. I don't know if I agree with everything that he has to say politically, but like lots of the people I celebrate, I don't see that we have to have exactly the same viewpoints on everything. I can recognise the beauty of all the things that he's created, no matter what. So today I'm celebrating Brian Eno. If you don't know his music, go find some. The ambient series are so amazing. I love having them on in the background to work, to exercise, to eat, just to be. Music for airports, music for... there's just so much amazing stuff. So today, Brian Eno.